welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something that I have seen a couple people do. I first saw, I think Sarah Caroli, or it might have been Steph Bora a while ago, I'm not sure, but recently the first one I saw was Sarah Caroli, and then I saw Larry Reed do it, and I wanted to do this one myself. Today I'm going to be doing a book recommendations tag, which I think will be fun. I can give you some recommendations that you've probably seen a lot. So the first one is A Book You Tell People Is Your Favorite. That is Artist's Voice. I love this book so much. Honestly, I was very scared going into this because it was widely talked about with Love and Other Words. I feel like it was those two books that were like the most talked about as like comfort books and all that, and I can see where everyone was going with this book because I absolutely loved it. Archer and Bree are one of my favorite couples in the entire romance world. They are just so cute and wholesome, and I really want to go back and reread this book. It's supposed to be on my TBR for the month, but I don't think I'll get to it whatsoever. It even says one of the top 100 romance novels of all time on Goodreads. Yes, I can agree with that. I don't think I can say what I wanted to say because I feel like it would be a spoiler if people are currently reading it for something that happens in this book and I don't know what happens next, and I'm just like, well, so I can't really say anything or touch upon anything else, but just know. And when people ask me what my favorite book is, I really don't say it, but in my mind it's this one, for romance. I'm gonna try not to be repetitive with books, but there are, I feel like, a few that I will repeat. A book that is your guilty pleasure. I don't have the physical book because it is expensive. You have to buy all, is it 5 books? All 5 books together because you can't buy them separately, and also it's just, it'd be better just to buy all of them together because those covers are, yeah. But the book in question is the My Deaf series by St. Abbey. My favorite part is I'm literally wearing Logan's jumper. I love that I'm just wearing bookish merch. Something about that series just is amazing. We have a very strong main character, and we have the boyfriend of the main character who is an FBI agent. You know, it just gives Criminal Minds. I love Criminal Minds. Even though the romance is insta love, which I hate, I just I push that aside, and that book has just become my guilty pleasure, and so has that couple. Number 3, a book everyone loved but you didn't. Oh, I'm gonna get a lot of haters for this one. I feel like this series has surfaced after a little while, I think because the new book came out. The new book came out and people were reading it and people were starting the series, and I started it and I DNF'd the first book because I absolutely hated it, and that is Zodiac Academy. This book is a fantasy. It's set in a school kind of thing. It's supposed to be like a Hogwarts but darker, where teachers do not give a shit about anyone. Guys that are supposed to be the love interest in this book are a big fat no-no. I understand people do like bully romances, but this is to an extreme level. It just irritated me so much. I've never read a book that made me rage more than the books that I read for school. The 2 female main characters, I didn't mind. I felt bad for them. The teachers, I hated them. Love interest, I hated my whole entire soul. I'm sorry, I don't know how anyone can forgive them for what they did to those girls. And it's like, oh, they did that, but it's okay, they love them now. I'm like, no. They bullied them and tried to murder them. And I understand, in fantasy books, it's okay with enemies to lovers, but to be an actual bully like that, no. I have a very passionate hate for this series. I don't get how anyone can love bully romances, and also bully romances to the point where they want to murder the main characters. Picture a high school bully, but make it 1,000, a million times worse. But you make that into a fantasy. Oh. Anyways, number 4, a book you read the fastest. I have, I think, about 3 or 4 books. No, I have 4 books that I read the fastest, but I wanted to put this one in because I reread this one recently and I finished it so quickly. I basically finished in like a day and a half, and that is very rare for me because usually a book will take me a couple days to maybe a week to 2 weeks. Right now a book is going to take me a whole entire month to read because I'm just in a slump and it's terrible. But the book in question is Juniper Hill by Daphne Perry. This is the second book in the Eden series. You can read this as a standalone because it is a standalone series, but I would recommend reading it in order. I love Knox and Memphis so much. They just own my soul and I need another book of them. I just loved how fast I read this and it's just so enjoyable. I think I read it fast the first time. I'm not sure how long it actually took me to read this one the first time around. The second time, I did read it really fast. Number 5 is a book that deserves more hype. I actually have 2. The first one is A Risk Gone Forever by Ennis Perkins. I read this book last year and it's so good. I would search up trigger warnings because this is a sad book. Not with the two main characters, but with another character that is relevant, very relevant for this book. It just couldn't wait to quit it. Did not die on me. The book is very short. I think it's like 200 something pages, almost 300. It's like 280. So the romance is not slow, I guess. I'm not gonna say it's a slow burn obviously because it's short. It's not insta love either. It's more like enemies to friendish to lovers kind of thing, and I liked it. The topics in here are very important as well and I feel like it deserves a lot more hype. The second book is Legendborn. I've had this on my TBR for such a long time and I don't know why I haven't read it sooner, but it is so good and I see nothing about this book. The representation in this book is amazing. It is fast paced. There is romance in this. It's supposed to be like a love triangle, but I don't see no love triangle because there's only one road guy there. Number 6 is a book that is becoming a movie / TV show. I have seen people recommend the one that has come out recently and I'm not going to recommend that one. I'll recommend the other one by the other author, which is Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I don't remember much because it's 7 husbands. Some of them I didn't even care about. Actually, most of them I didn't care about. I'm not going to say all of them because there's like 2 that I really loved. And I've heard, I think it was Netflix that took it and it's being made into a movie now instead of a TV series, which I'm not happy about because a TV series would have made it so much better because you could have 7 episodes with the 7 husbands. Like that would make it so much better. A movie is not going to cover everything and I hate that. I don't think there's much development so far on this, but I would say it's maybe coming out next year or the year after. I don't know what's happening. Number 7 is a book you reread the most, and this is easily the most that I have read, and that is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is part of the Off-Campus series. This is the first book. Let me tell you, when I first read this book, I devoured it. I read it in about 2 days. As soon as I finished it, I was like, oh my god. And then I went back again. And then I went back again. Garrett and Hannah have my heart and I absolutely love them. I'm sorry, but Icebreaker cannot compare to this. Number 8 is a book that... Oh my god, I can't see properly. Number 8 is a book that does... Why am I reading the wrong thing? I'm reading number 7 and I'm reading number 9. Number 8 is a book from a genre you don't typically read. There you go. You see, I'm more of a fantasy reader and a romance reader, you know, and so this book went out of my comfort zone. It's not a favorite book of mine, I would say. I feel like there are definitely books that are better written than this. I thought the last 100 pages were good. And that is The Silent Patient. This book, I feel like it's one of those books where you have to be patient. It drags on until the last 100 pages and then everything comes together and you're just like, that's why it dragged on and made me want to DNF it so many times. And I feel like I was a mastermind with this because, let me tell you, the plot twist was one of my guesses and I was like, probably not, but you know, a girl can think whatever. And I got it right and I was still kind of surprised, mainly because I got it right. Number 9 is a book that deserves all the hype it gets. I have 2 books which are actually part of theory / duology kind of thing. And this one, obviously everyone knows, but that is Six of Crows. Let me tell you, I've been wanting to reread this book for such a long time. It's just one of those books that is so hyped. I'm not going to say anything about overhyping because I don't believe in that word, but it's just one of those books that so many people love, but is so worth the hype. It is so worth it. I even have my necklace on. Another part of merch that I'm wearing. No mourners, no funerals. And season 2, what we got, Wesper. The second one that I think deserves all the hype is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I'm only holding up the first 2 instead of all 3 because I haven't read the third one. I love this trilogy already so far. Books are fast paced, they're easy to follow. Oh my god, what did I do? Some of the characters are lovable. Pip and Ravi are my favorite. I will say, I know people will hype up the romance, but just go into it knowing that it is a subplot, and in this one you get more of it, but it's still a subplot, but it's just amazing and I love it. Number 10 is a book you usually recommend when asked to give a recommendation. I have one for each genre. The first book, which is a fantasy one, is Sorcerer of Thorns. I don't see enough people talking about this book. It is so good. I love it. Elizabeth, Nathaniel, Silas. Why did I think his name was Sylvie? This honestly would be something that I would recommend along with things like Throne of Glass, obviously. Mystery would be the Inheritance Games trilogy. I'm holding up the US editions because the UK ones are just terrible. So let me just show you these gorgeous ones. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think it's great and it is similar to Knives Out. So if you really love Knives Out or you liked it and you enjoyed it, then I would give this trilogy a go. And then Romance, which is a book that is very hyped, which so many people have read, and that is Love in Other Words. I feel like this would be a nice start to romance, I guess, if you're wanting to go into a second chance and childhood friends to lovers. This is definitely the book for you, and the comfort that this book gives is just amazing. Number 11 is a book that has your favorite characters, and as soon as I heard that, my mind went immediately to Red, White and Royal Blue. I'm not excited for the movie, I'm not gonna lie, but Alex and Henry, a lot of these characters in this book, I absolutely love. The turkey scene. This book would be a book that I would go to when I need comfort from characters, from fictional characters. So number 12 is a book you wish you could live in, and I have one valid reason for this book, which is The Hunger Games. I would just like to see how long I last in the games. I have no other reason but to know that if I get picked or if I decide to volunteer, I would just like to know how long I would last. Number 13 is a book you thought you would hate but ended up loving. That was from Lukov Will Love, mainly because it is very, very slow burn, and also I'm not really into ice skating much until I read this book, and I ended up loving it. For me, I kind of forgot that they were supposed to be lovers just because of that connection, you know, and I was very happy with them kind of being friends. Number 14 is a book that made me cry. That is Daisy Jones and the Six. It was because of the plot twist that happened that made me cry my eyes out, and I'm not excited at all for it happening in the show if they do end up keeping that from the book, which I feel like they will, because I can already see it start to happen, which is very, very sad. But this did make me bawl my eyes out, and yeah. Number 15, which is the last one for this video, is a book you wish you could read for the first time, and this one is very, very easy, and that is Throne of Glass. If people didn't know and you're new here, this book actually got me into reading, like completely into this obsession. I just remember reading it for the first time. I devoured this book. I just remember being so into this book, and it gripped me so much, and I just wish I could read this book for the first time. Even the series, I wish I could read the books that I have read now. I haven't read this one. This is like the only book that I haven't read, and I've still got the last two to finish. The series in general, it's just one of my favorite series of all time, other than Harry Potter. That is the end of this book recommendation tag. I hope you guys did enjoy and found some books that you might not have seen before and that interested you, even though I didn't give you a synopsis or anything, because that would take forever with all these books. Don't forget to do all the usual, like, comment, subscribe, turn on notification bell so you know every time that I upload, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!